Have you been engaging prospects, yet you've been unable to close? We started yesterday a series on 5 secrets to close sales successfully, 5 proven strategies to close sales closing secrets. I'm going to continue in this video. My name is Yuri Ogbigwe. I am a business consultant specialized in Salesforce management. I've trained over 23,000 salespeople across 5 countries: Nigeria, Ghana, USA, Rwanda. I've been an author of several books on sales, and I've been featured on a lot of media platforms to talk about successful selling. I worked in an organization where I was given a target to sell to 20 HNIs, and I was able to bring in 21 HNIs to my organization in a single month. I also moved to an organization where I grew a portfolio of $3.5 million to over $7 million. I participated in a sales competition where I became number 1 in sales in that organization, and I was sent for the World Cup for an all-expense-paid trip. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 proven strategies to close sales successfully. Yesterday, I mentioned to you the first one, which is closing the appointments. Because if you don't have the appointments, you will not close. Somebody says, but I was engaging this client on the phone. You already tell me what to do to get him to close. The problem is you're trying to get him to close over the phone. He can't pay over the phone. What do you now need to do? Get him to have a physical meeting or appointment with you. And in yesterday's session, I explained to you that you can actually, this is contextual. There are some services or products you can close over the phone. You just need to be sure that yours is that type of service. Nevertheless, peradventure you are trying to close on the phone, I will get to exactly what you need to do shortly. You will soon hear the techniques that you need to do that. But for most cases, a physical appointment is key. If it's not physical, like face-to-face, human-like, then virtual, video conference, Zoom calls, Teams. Don't suggest WhatsApp call to a prospect. Let him be the one to say to himself, okay, you know what, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with Zoom and all these platforms. Let's just do a WhatsApp call. That would be more like it, because of the kind of products you're probably trying to sell to the prospect. The second thing I mentioned to you, I said, close the prospect into talking. Get the prospect to talk. Because if you get to the end of the conversation and you're like, but I couldn't close, I tried everything. The question is, did you get the prospect to do most of the talking? If you didn't close at the talking stage, you will not close at the collecting of the money stage. So you need to be able to close the person into talking. To close means to bring to a conclusion. Get him to talk or get her to talk. Don't ask closed-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions. And I explained to you yesterday how to ask open-ended questions. The third thing, close the prospect into urgency. See, if it's not urgent, prospect is not going to buy. It has to be urgent for them. So it's your responsibility to make them realize that they need this thing now. And there are 2 aspects to this. For some prospects, they already have a strong desire. They already have something they are working on. They already have a strong need they want to fill. And all you need to do is identify it. For some, they were not even planning to buy your products. In their scale of preference, your product wasn't even there. But they had the finances, they had the resources. Now, when you come and meet those people, you now want to create that desire. You create it. Now, for the first category, those who have a strong desire, as you ask questions, when you spot the need, you emphasize on the need. Problems amplified would mean value amplified. Value amplified would mean closing amplified. Let me explain. If you amplify the problem, if you find a problem and you dwell on it, you are not trying to make it worse. You are only trying to make it louder for the prospect to see that this thing, he needs to act on it now. If I'm using a microphone and I'm speaking to a crowd, I am not changing what I'm saying. The microphone is only making what I'm saying louder. It is not making it worse. It's only making it louder. So if a medical doctor meets a patient and the patient says, I'm on my way to the UK with my family. However, I just decided to come for a brief checkup. And upon doing a checkup, the doctor realizes that this patient has diabetes and it's at a critical stage. And he says, and the patient says, okay, doctor, no problem. Well, thank God. I found out now that I have diabetes. So let me just travel. When I get back in 6 months, I'll come for my treatments. And doctor will be like, you are in a stage, you mentioned the stage. Let him know the kind of things that could go wrong at this stage. Let him know the things that could be happening in his body that could put him in a great risk at this stage. What's he trying to do? He's trying to amplify the problem. so that the man will take action immediately and start his treatment. Maybe he will cancel the trip, or he will pay for the drugs or medication he needs during that trip. You see that? So you have to amplify. You find the problem, you dwell on it. You ask, oh, what's it costing you so far to continue at this level? Or how much have you lost through all this? Even if the prospect doesn't even know how much he has lost, you do what we call partnership selling. Partnership selling means I'm not here trying to sell to you. I am with you on your side, trying to address the problem. So you get on the side of the prospect and you say, Mr. Prospect, can we look at it together and have an idea of how much you probably lost having this, because of how long this issue has been. So you do some calculation with him and come up with an estimate. And you say, okay, sir, so this is how much you've lost in the last week. This is how much you've lost probably in the last month. Wow. So this is how much you've lost in the past 6 months. Oh my goodness. So sorry about that. Thank God we came. We're going to help you resolve this right away. You see this? So you have closed on urgency so that he can take action immediately. Now, what if the person didn't even have it in mind about this particular transaction, or he didn't even have a budget for it? See, not having a budget doesn't mean you don't have the money. Understand? When the value is amplified, when the opportunity is amplified or problem is amplified, the value will be amplified and the closing will be amplified. So you just need to find out if he has the resources by qualifying correctly. But the moment you've closed on the person talking and you are listening, you will spot the opportunities for financial capacity. At the end of this video, I'll drop a link on a video on how to determine financial capacity. You will spot the opportunity for financial capacity. When you've done that, you would already know that this person can do business with you. So how do you awaken that desire so that you can be able to take action? Ladies and gentlemen, you share testimonials. You share testimonials. Testimonials of people who have enjoyed your product or service. Let them know how well your product or service has changed their lives. And you'll be amazed how it will stir the person up and help the person move in the direction of the opportunity. Of course, not only are you sharing testimonials, ladies and gentlemen, you know that you also have to let him know what he stands to benefit. So it's when you're communicating what he stands to benefit, you support it to the testimonials so that he understands that this is the new opportunity that is there for me. And who knows, he may be having a problem and is not aware, depending on what you sell. And you can ask, oh, what you're currently doing, is it working 100%? Like 100%? Nothing works 100%. So by the time you're asking if it's working 100% with the right tone of voice, and you're emphasizing on it with your facial expression, you will start to question how well and how much it is working. So that based on that, you can see if there's an opportunity for you to come in, fill in the gap, and raise it to almost 100% while you're buttressing it with your testimonials. So you're going to close the prospect into urgency with a strong desire. Number 4, close the prospect into education. Get the prospect educated. Let the prospect be willing to listen to you. Ladies and gentlemen, if the prospect is not educated by you, the prospect will not be convinced by you. Credibility sells. Credibility sells. It is unlikely that the prospect will understand your industry. Somebody says, but this person has been buying this kind of services before. The situation and circumstances upon which he had bought previously may not be a situation or circumstance based on knowledge. It may be a situation or circumstance based on opportunity. It may be a situation or circumstance based on the fact that his friend or social circle had purchased that particular product or service, and he felt, wow, since I buy in groups with my friends, let me as well buy. But if you want him to make decisions solely on his own and jumping with you into this transaction, ladies and gentlemen, whoa, you have to educate. So let the prospect give you the opportunity to educate. And how do you close them on education? Okay, sir, before we go on, let me just, in 2 minutes, walk you through how this industry works and how you can get the best of these opportunities. Then educate the prospects. You must have a pre-planned method for education. In 2 minutes, be able to let the prospect know the critical things that he needs to understand about your industry, about your company. So in other words, sell your company to the prospects. Let him know how your company works, and let him know why you're the best in the company, and let him know why your company is the best in the industry, and let him know how the industry works. Then finally, you close the prospect into paying. Now you can close the appointment, you can close the prospect into talking, close the prospect into urgency, giving them a strong desire, because without a strong desire, they won't take action. You can close the prospect into education by letting them understand why you're the best. At this level, ladies and gentlemen, it will almost be impossible to close. It will be impossible to close. See, I taught this thing to a particular company in the FX piece. I called the MD calls me a week after, just a week after. The salespeople had already achieved 70% of their monthly budgets. It just happened not long ago. 70% of their monthly budgets in 1 week after we had this engagement and I walked them through this process. So this is so powerful. The moment you've covered all your tracks, at this point, you want to close the prospect into paying. See, after stage 4, right, the prospect in his mind has already bought because buying is subconscious. The buying takes place before the prospect says, I'm ready to buy. So now that you've come to this point, in a sense, he has already bought. But because you think the client is interested and ready to go ahead, does it mean that he or she has paid? No. You have to learn how to close to collect the money. And what do you need to do now? The moment you are done talking, you don't need to see. When you sell like this, and you don't need to wait till the prospect to tell you, okay, I'm ready to pay. How do I pay? It's already late by then. The moment you are done selling the company or the industry, you now say, okay, sir, what name would you like on the offer letter? Assumption close. Assume he's already buying from you. Sir, what name would you like on the offer letter? Sir, now, just in case it's real estate, don't say, sir, when do you want to come for the inspection? You don't need an inspection to close. If the inspection, bring up the inspection. If you observe that after doing all these things, you notice that he's still not comfortable and he still doesn't trust you. You notice from his body language, he's not fully convinced yet. Then you can now attempt to close by asking, all right, sir, what name would you like on the offer letter? And he says, wait, offer letter. Hold on first. Let me just think about it. Then you say, oh, sir, what are you waiting for? You go back and re-emphasize the urgency and say, but you know that we're already losing money, or you know that this opportunity expires at a certain time. Let him use urgency at that point in time. If he's still dilly-dallying, then you can now ask for an opportunity to take him to site for an inspection. That's how the inspection comes in. Now, there are some prospects you must stay away from. Let me tell you, stay away from them. If somebody says, don't worry, if it's my time, I will buy. If it's not my time, I will not buy. Please. A prospect says, there's another one. I think I wrote some of them down. What is mine is mine. If it is mine, it will come to me. Our price is not your problem. Don't worry. You said price is increasing next week. Don't worry, it's not a problem. Even if the price doubles, I will still buy when I'm ready. Ladies and gentlemen, when you come across this kind of prospects, those are red flags when people say those kind of things. There is no human being who would pay higher when he could have paid at a lesser price. So watch out for those red flags. The moment you hear those red flag conversations, you could just mean that, oh, you probably didn't do a good job in terms of qualifying at the beginning. Then you watch these videos again, get perfect at them. I'm going to drop a video on qualifying, like I said earlier, for financial capacity. Drop this video, watch these videos again, and perfect all these concepts. So act like the person is about to pay. Okay, sir, what color would you be taking? All right, sir, what size would you like? All right, sir, when would you like this delivered to your place? Okay, sir, what amount, how many of your assets are we looking at starting with for insuring? Okay, how much are you starting with? Right? Or you can even suggest and say, okay, sir, so you'll be starting with this amount, right? So act like the person is about to buy. Move into the close. And with these things, you'll be able to close any prospects. So number 1, I said close the appointment. Number 2, close the prospect into talking. Number 3, close the prospect into urgency and strong desire. Number 4, close the prospect into education. Then close the prospect into paying. And please don't ask questions like, sir, when do you want to pay? When do you want to start? Those things will make you lose it. What are you supposed to do? Act like they're already paying. Okay, sir, you're paying now, right? All right, so, okay, sir, you're starting today, right? All right, sir, what's your name? Begin the documentation and act like he had already said yes. Whatever you sell, based on your industry, when somebody has already said yes, what are the steps you start to take? Act that way before he says yes. That's what I'm trying to tell you to do. And you'll get the right results. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Please remember to like, remember to comment, remember to subscribe, and remember to watch this video right here.